Hello, I'm Azai. Welcome back to Aokana. I just came back from the gym, ate some donuts, well, leftover donuts that I got from yesterday, because I got like a dozen of them. And yeah, let me talk about my day real quick before I start talking about the last episode recap. My day, yeah, you guys probably know at this point I'm a pretty boring person. I wake up, I make some food, I, lounge around before it start of, the gym session. I eat my pre-workout, I go to the gym, and yeah, I mostly can only talk about my sessions at the gym, and the last 2 days have been pretty darn amazing. I feel like I do need to find some new hobbies and whatnot, but to be honest, I'm pretty comfortable with what I'm doing. But I do feel like I have quite some free time after, like, recording my current session right here. Like, usually I'd be done recording the episode by 4 or 5, and then finish with rendering and all that stuff by 6 PM. After that, I really just have quite some free time before 10 o'clock, so 4 hours, right? I don't really play much games anymore. I'm still not done with Baldur's Gate, but like I said, when I'm so close to finishing a game, I procrastinate. So I haven't touched Baldur's Gate for a good maybe 2 weeks now. But yeah, maybe I should try doing something for like night sessions. But we'll see. You guys will probably get an update once I do find something to do, you know? But let's take a look at the last episode recap. On the last episode, we didn't really do much, did we? We learned about some accidental prevention training with Shirase-san. And we got some tiny bit of fan service with the swimsuits and whatnot. But I don't think there's actually much going on. And yeah, it looks like I took a look at the achievements. At least the achievements that I got for this game anyway. But it looks like there is a common route, and right now we are still in the common route. So the chapters don't really differ much from what I probably will see. Unless... no, it can't be. It's at chapter 5 of the common route, so there's no way that the split will be somewhere in the common route. I assume the split will be after you finish all the common route, and then you can just go into whatever route or whatever heroine's route you want. But yeah, we finished that off yesterday. We met up with that girl we saw in chapter 3. But I don't remember her name. I think we... like, heard her being called, or not, I don't remember too much. During the last episode, or not last episode, but during the end of chapter 3. But it's been quite a while since that episode. I think that was episode 6 or 7? So yeah, I don't really remember what they called her. But she seems to be a kudere. And now we are at chapter 6. Which will be the tournament arc. At least I hope so. The chapter preview looks to be pretty intense, and I'm hoping that it's going to be intense because for the last couple of chapters, there hasn't been much talk about FC. Or, the more nerdy details about FC, which I really like. So, let's start off chapter 6 here. Asuka rushes toward the venue with a spring in her step. Yeah, that's because we are. So, this is already the tournament spot. They didn't waste any time whatsoever. I thought that we would still get some, some tiny bit of slice of life. But we're already at the tournament arc. I don't know what the hell age is, actually. That's not a common saying, I think. But I could have sworn. Am I just mistaken? Am I the only one that's crazy? But I thought that Asuka's plug suit, or, you know, FC suit was not supposed to be this color. But I guess I am mistaken. Huh. I really thought it was a different color. Maybe I'm crazy. We're not sitting down for a meal here. Comparing it to the feeling of flying for the first time would have worked, right? What's that supposed to mean? I just said something that's totally normal. Honestly, it was kinda corny, but it still wasn't all that weird. Yeah, I'm just gonna ignore you, Madoka. You don't have to tell me twice. Aoi-san stops in her tracks as she begins to walk away. Got it. Aoi-san heads off toward a large tent after saying that. Must be in the management area. It's kind of a shame that I thought the venue would be, you know, like a stadium or something for this game. For the tournament arc anyway. Because I feel like they actually have a lot of budget before. But maybe it does make a lot more sense to have the tournament in a what is it? Like outdoors. I don't know. I think it would have been a lot cooler if there's indoors and then people can actually watch them close by like a stadium. And when I look over to the rest of the club, I see Mashiro looking around nervously. Students from all the different schools in Shito City can be seen chatting it up on the beach. Damn, see? This girl talks so much, but the sentences don't really line up with what she says. Well, it's still, like, pretty accurate, but I do feel... yeah, I'm probably gonna keep reiterating this. The localization of this is just not my cup of tea. Osaka comes running over from God knows where. And she screeches to a halt when she bumps into Mashiro. I think I was wondering about this about 2 to 3 episodes ago, and it does seem like Minori is part of our school, isn't she? Wow, that sounds real gross. I don't think that she would be super buddy-buddy with Mashiro instantly if she wasn't part of our school. Wait, you turn all gross when good things happen? Sounds rough.
そうなの？それは危険だ。私がテレビに映ったらみんなのアイドルになっちゃうかもだよね。
Cocky much?
今日を最後にもう普通の生活はできないのかも。どうしよう。そんなのは私が許しません。先輩の顔にモザイクを入れるようにお願いします。私の顔が卑猥になったみたいでやだなそれ。
That's true.
どこで放送されるんですか？
首都地方のみで放送されてるケーブルテレビの首都チャンネルっす。
I think I said this on the last episode too, but I do really appreciate how, you know, sometimes they would do some random humor that might not be everyone's cup of tea, and then they would just ignore it and keep continuing the conversation. I do appreciate that about this game.
首都チャンネル？
That exists?
私は知らないけど。私も知らないな。それって本当にやってるの？
やってるってば、毎日放送中だよ。
Prez's eyes glint suggestively. You know it, Prez?
変に荒い感じのプロとは思えない映像で、地元の小学校の卒業式の模様などを繰り返し流し続けている。あれか？
そう、それっす、それ。
Isn't that a very minor channel then? That sounds pretty damn sketchy. Wait, why are you even watching that?
ケーブルテレビをザッピングしてたらたまたま見つけて、あまりにもどうでもいい映像の連続で逆に気になったな。見てると頭の中が真っ白になっていくのが気持ちいいんだ。
I don't understand that. I could understand just switching on television just to, you know, have some background noise. But I don't know about this one.
ああ、兄ちゃんが時々呆然とした顔で見てるとこか。島のお祭りの様子を5時間くらい永遠と流してたりするよね。
編集が面倒で大嫌いだから撮ったらそのまま垂れ流すぜという制作者の熱い心意気が見えて、俺は好きだ。
Basically, you're saying it's a super sloppy TV channel.
そんなとこで放送か。
Man, are kids nowadays really this ignorant that they don't even know how many channels that they got locally? Back in my days. Do I sound old yet?
いやいや、評判が良かったら地上波で深夜に放送する可能性も少しだけあるって話っすよ。
Wow. So the best we can hope for is a small segment in the dead of night. Of the night.
不必要にテンションが落ちてきちゃったな。
落ちないでくださいっす。
こんなことでテンションが落ちるくらいなら最初から聞かなければよかったかも。
ちゃんと話を最後まで聞いてよ。決勝戦の実況は私が担当することになったんだから。
そうなの？すごいんだよね。
疑問に思わないですごいんだから。これをプロ野球選手の奥さんへの野望の第一歩に。
If that's the first step, your dream will never come true.
とにかく私が実況するんすから、皆さんも決勝まで残ってくださいっすよ。
Whoa, way too much pressure there, Minori.
わかりました。残ります。お？アスカ頼もしい。そのくらいのつもりで頑張らないと1回戦も勝てないような気がしたんです。まあ目標は高い方がいいもんね。
それじゃあ私は準備があるっすので、皆さん頑張ってくださいっす。
頑張れみのり。
頑張るぜ。
After saying that, she waves to us excitedly, then cheerfully runs off down the beach.
一応テレビ映りを気にして化粧とかしておいた方がいいかな。
Ah, girls in makeup. Nah, there's no need. I actually don't understand makeup. I get you're trying to make yourself prettier, right? Like, even guys have some sort of preparation to make themselves, like, presentable. Like, for me, it's going to the gym, I guess, for aesthetic. And I guess, like, dressing up better. But I feel like makeup, it's a bit too superficial, you know? I know that there are also natural makeup where it doesn't really change too much and highlights your features a lot more. But I don't know. I feel like girls spend way too much money on makeup, personally.
それって私がすっぴんでも可愛いから？
I personally would prefer girls that don't wear makeup, yeah. That's not what I meant.
私はお化粧した方がいいでしょうか？
Well, then again, anime girls always look the same whether or not they wear makeup. Look, I'm just trying to say you should forget about all that and focus on your matches.
でも、もし映るかもと考えたら、少しでも可愛くありたいですよね。そっちの方が試合でもやる気が出るというか。
I don't think in any sort of sports you would have any time to make yourself look cute, Mashiro. If you actually watch some of the crazy, like, Tour de France for cycling, you'd see so many people actually, like, you know, get into crashes, have bruises and whatnot. They wouldn't even think about looking themselves presentable for the camera.
そうそう。マサヤは乙女心知らずなんだからな。
Ah, whatever. Let's just go check out the bracket. You wanna know who you're up against, right?
はい、気になります。
The tournament bracket's only made public on the day of, so we've got no clue who anyone's facing right now.
一回戦から強い人じゃなければいいな。ですよね。私の名前はどこかしらと。
Mashiro suddenly jerks up like a startled cat. Guess she found her name.
どうした？私、何か悪いことしましたか？
She probably is going to be fighting that girl she was friends with in middle school. Okaze, I believe? Mashiro points to a particular section of the bracket as she says that.
やっちゃったね、マシロ。
Huh, maybe not. Asuka seems to know who she's going to be facing. I could understand if Asuka doesn't know and Misaki says this, so that means it's probably Okaze, but this makes me think that it's not.
日頃の行いが悪いせいでしょうか。
I mean, that makes zero sense. Have you even done anything bad lately?
じゃあ、どうしてこんなことになったんですか？先生の行いのせいですか？
Madoka hugs Mashiro from behind in an attempt to comfort her.
運が悪かったんだからしょうがないってば。悪すぎますってば。どうして私の一回戦の相手が佐藤院さんなんですか？
Yeah, you're probably gonna lose, Mashiro. Well, there's probably at least a chance you can steal a win. Maybe. Yeah.
コーチの立場だから本音を言えないというのが丸分かりなんです。どうせ言うならもっと力強く言ってください。
You've got a chance. Probably. Yeah.
こんなに目の濁った人を見たことがない。しょうがないって2億回すれば1回くらい勝てるかもしれないよ。
Yeah, I feel like never lose your never lose your motivation, Mashiro.
可能性が低すぎます。その1回を今日持ってくればいいだけだって。美咲先輩がそう言うなら持ってきます。
Wow, you guys have a lot of faith in each other. Maybe Misaki should take over as Mashiro's second. Then again, I doubt she'd ever offer any useful advice.
私の運もなかなか悪いかな。
So, it's pretty interesting. It doesn't seem like each school is going to be facing the same, like, people from the same school. So it is individual. Okay.
そうなんですか？一回戦の人って。
Rika Ichinose. Ichinose, huh?
あの子とはあんまり試合をしたくないな。さらにその右隣の人がね。右隣
Wait, does that mean... So the school is facing other schools? I thought it would be individual, but I guess Asuka's gonna be facing Shindo. Kazunari Shindo. Well, shit.
ありゃりゃ、ご愁傷様。まさか2回戦で当たっちゃうなんてな。というか、高内の生徒同士がこんな近くに配置されてるの変じゃない？1回戦で同じ学園の生徒は当たらないということ以外はシードとかなしで完全にランダムで決めるみたいだよ。
So I don't get how the rounds work. So how do the rounds work? This is a pretty new tournament series, which probably means they haven't ironed out all the issues yet. Hey, this might be a good thing. Your stamina's terrible, and you'd have to face him at some point to get a shot at the title. So you might as well get it over with now.
前向きな発想だにゃ。
Yeah, I don't know how the bracket actually even works here. So Mashiro's gonna face Satoin. That's the first round. The second round is Asuka against Shindo, and then Misaki is against Rika. I don't get it. I guess we'll see. It's so confusing. They can't just show me like the poster for the brackets themselves. Come on, you've got to admit I have a point. Second round means you'll face him first thing tomorrow. Better the second round than the third.
はいはい、頑張りますよ。
大丈夫です。美咲先輩なら勝てます。私信じてますから。
真白に信じられてもな。
私以外の信用なんて無価値だってことにそろそろ気づいてください。
気づけそうにないな。
We actually have quite a decent chance if Misaki's against Rika. Rika is a speeder.
私は美咲ちゃんの側です。1回戦は改良学園の1年生ですね。
Okay, so this is the first round. What I don't get, okay. I think I'm starting to get it. So if Asuka wins, they're going to face she's going to face Shindo tomorrow, and if Misaki wins, she's going to face Rika tomorrow. Kario is probably that Okaze girl.
おお、それいいよ。改良はあんまり強くないからね。それに2回戦の相手だってどっちが上がっても強くなさそう。
Oh wait, is that not Kario? Maybe I'm mistaken. And in the third round, you'd have to face Misaki, Ichinose, or Shindo-san.
そこまでいけるかどうかわかりませんけど、頑張ります。
Yeah. I'm getting the picture about the bracket thing.
もしですよ。もし私も美咲ちゃんも勝ち進んで戦うことになったら、セコンドはどうなるんですか？
その時は私が愛で美咲先輩をフォローします。
You're useless, so I doubt that's gonna happen, Mashiro.
その愛はハンデだな。
そんなことありません。
There's only 1 second when 2 people from the same school face each other. Both players can hear everything, basically.
それでは作戦指示がバレてしまいませんか？
The second only relays positional information in those matches. In other words, you're on your own.
まあ同じ学園なのにセコンドの差で負けちゃったら釈然としないとこあるかもしれないからね。なるほど、そういうことになってたんですか。
There's no hard and fast rule about that, but it's standard practice. A student from a different school can technically fill in if both players are fine with it, but that never happens. Not that that's even important right now.
で、兄ちゃんは？
俺は改良の2年生だな。
乾咲か。聞いたことない選手だからあんまり強くないと思うけど。
Okay, so is Kairio the school that shit, I forgot her name again. Minori told us about. I think that is where the Kudere is. So I think it might be Saki that he's facing here. The girl that we saw in the last episode. Or sorry, chapter. Well, technically, I call it episode is also correct. Me calling it episode. Prez flexes after hearing that.
相手が誰だろうが、この筋肉でぶっちぎってやるだけだからな。
You better. That's about the only real weapon in your arsenal. I take a deep breath, then exhale and turn toward everyone. I need to give a speech here. Who the fuck? It's finally time to show the fruits of your labor. I'll do everything in my power to help you win, so... Huh? I think someone with that same mask was in Koichoko. If you guys don't know Koichoko, that's the visual novel that this game was... Or, not, sorry. It's the visual novel that was made before this game. It also has an anime. What kind of thief would be dumb enough to wear something that flashy? Besides, there's no bank on this beach. It's an anime thing, Mashiro. Does it? If he goes to the finals, he probably is going to be pretty cool. FC is a solo sport, so no one's ever your friend. I wonder how many people are... Or what's the max amount of people you can register in a school? Maybe 5? I think what they said about Rika joining the regulars or something was that she was the last one. But I forgot if they had like 5 or how many... Like what the number was. I spent a lot of time researching players from different schools, but I never heard anything about someone who wears a mask.
Yeah, ohayo.
白瀬さん、おはようございます。
おはようございます。青柳くん、大会に向けて仕上げてきたね。大胸筋がキュッとなって実践的なキレがありそうだね。
Just leave it at that, please, Shirase.
白瀬さんのアドバイスに従ったまでのこと。どうです？腹直筋、指でなぞってみますか？
I hate this so much.
いいね。
Maybe don't do that in public.
マサヤには青柳くんの筋肉が卑猥に見えるのかい？ひなたもそろそろこっちの世界に来たらどうだ？
Yeah, I'd rather not. More importantly, did you see the masked Skywalker who just walked by?
覆面？
かかしみたいな覆面をした人がそこを通ったんです。
いや、見なかったな。うん、見なかった。そんなことする選手がいるのか。へえ、面白いこと考える選手がいるんだね。
Yeah, you kinda suck at lying. Is it actually his sister? But I thought that she was still in middle school.
何か知ってるんですか？
いやいや、知るわけないだろ。初耳だよ。へえ、覆面ね。
ルール的にどうなんです？反則っぽくありませんか？
覆面をかぶっても視界が狭くなるだけで有利になることはないから、わざわざルールで禁止したりはしてないと思うけどね。
テレビ受けとか狙ったのかな？
単純に顔を見られるのが恥ずかしいとかかも。顔を見られると恥ずかしくて実力を発揮できないとか。
Considering what we see so far, or what we've seen so far, and if that is actually his sister, then probably.
覆面をかぶった方が恥ずかしいと思いますけど。
でも顔を見られるだけで緊張しちゃうって人はいるよ。
相手に表情を読み取られると不利になるからね。覆面をすることでそういうとこをカバーしてるのかもね。とにかく反則ではないはずだよ。
How is he so familiar with those rules? Does he actually know something? Duh. Well, no point thinking about it now, since we'll get to see them in action once the tournament starts. Say, what are you doing here, Shirase-san? I don't know if they actually are able to use an alias, so we probably would know her name or his name anyway, once we start the tournament.
大会の運営に関わっているんですか？
少しは関係してるけどね。でも主な目的は出店を出すこと。大会の記念 T シャツやタオルなんかを売ってる。
せっかくですから T シャツは買っておきたいです。
それでは向こうの駐車場でスポーツショップしらせの出店があるからよろしくお願いするよ。
買っても着る機会がなさそうだけどね。
Does stuff like that actually sell?
タオルとかの小物は持ってくるのを忘れてきた選手が買ってくれるよ。あと熱中症対策グッズとかもよく出るね。
うちの部は私がバッチリ準備してるけど、そういうのをうっかり忘れる人はいそうですね。
熱中症は選手より観客に多いかもね。あと競技用のグラシもそれなりに売れるよ。
グラシが売れるんですか？
I doubt he's talking about players.
選手は買わないよ。この大会は観光客も結構来るからね。中には自分もやってみたいと思う人もいるんだ。そういう方々へスターターキットを売るわけ。
They still haven't told us how much these freaking graph shoes are. Imagine if they actually sell freaking bikes in a bike tournament. A good bike would probably at least be $1,000. That is quite expensive. You can probably find a similar bike secondhand that's also like the same, not the same price, but like, you know, maybe like $500 with the same specs.
白瀬さんは大勢の人に FC の素晴らしさを広めているわけですね。
Tell me how much the price is though. God damn it. I'm super curious.
私にはただ抜け目ないだけに見えるけど。
我が店の売り上げは君たちがどれだけ観客のハートをつかむ派手な試合ができるかにかかってるわけだ。
This isn't Pro FC, so don't expect much from us.
そう言わずにド派手な試合を頼むよ。じゃあ頑張ってね。
頑張ります。
Shirase-san. I follow after him after he walks away.
どうかした？
I know you'll be busy with your stall, but can you please come watch our matches?
別にいいけど、どうして？
I want to hear what you think of each of them. That'll help me design custom training regimens for them after the tournament.
わかった。でも、俺の意見って厳しかったりするかもよ。
More than fine. That's exactly what I want.
じゃあ、しっかり見させてもらうよ。
Thanks. Shirase-san waves his hand casually and walks off toward the stall. I wonder what he'll think of Asuka and Misaki. They're both pretty talented in their own ways, which makes me think FC suits them well. But unfortunately, I'm not sure how to best coach them. Misaki's talent is easy to read, but Asuka's is hard to grasp. So maybe, just maybe, Shirase-san can offer some sound advice.
この声は真っ白だ。やあやあ、本当にやってんだな FC。
Okay, her given name is Arika.
ああ、もうテンション高いわね。
Okoze, right? Did I say her name is Okaze before? God damn it. Yeah, this is definitely Mashiro's childhood friend. Haven't seen her in a while.
ね、わざわざ何の用なのよ、アリカ。ご挨拶だな、マシロ。改めて宣戦布告に来てやったのに。宣戦布告？ 5月のあの日、お前がこの大会に出るって聞いてからずっとお前と戦うのを楽しみにしてきたんだ。わかるか？私のこの格好。
I think the senpai that she adores is Ganeko, right? I gotta make sure to properly remember these names.
ってあんたそれってまさか。そうだ、レギュラーになってきた。
Wow! Okoze's school, Shito Suisan, is one of the best in the area. They rank either second or third in overall FC skill. Competition would have been fierce, but she still somehow managed to claim one of the top spots. Incredible. Okoze's acting like it's no big deal, but she must have worked her ass off to get that good.
どうしてもマシロとトーナメントでやりたかったからな。あんたってこういうことになると本当見境なしね。どんだけ私のこと嫌いなのよ。
She didn't say that, she says, how much do you actually hate me? Ah! I'm gonna keep nitpicking the localization, man.
嬉しいか？沸騰し、あとめんどくさい。お前、それが今日まで必死に頑張ってきた幼馴染にかける言葉か？私には関係ないし。それと、このトーナメント表は何なんだ？これじゃあ試合できるのは決勝戦じゃないか。絶対に勝ち残れよ。私も残るから。それ絶対に無理。最初から諦めるなバカ。正直私も無理だと思うけど、理由だけは言えよ。どうしてそんな無意味なこと言わないといけないの？
I think that's actually a pretty good point, you know?
きっと神様が私たちの対戦はまだ早いって思ったんだ。でもそれは今回までだ。秋の大会では絶対に当たるようにしておけや。
Okay, so there's gonna be a second tournament, Arika.
私じゃなくてトーナメントを作ってる人に言ってよ。秋に対戦できなかったら路上ででも勝負を挑むぞ。そんなことされたら絶対に警察へ電話する。不審者に絡まれてますって。
Despite her objections, Mashiro looks pretty happy. I suppose that's just how childhood friends are. Unless I'm misinterpreting something anyway.
ああ、誰かと思ったらマグロちゃんだ。マグロって呼ぶな。
Misaki's timing is impeccable. She chimed in just in time to make Okoze blow up on her. Okoze doesn't understand Mashiro and Misaki's relationship, and as a result, she sees Misaki as a threat. And to make matters worse, Misaki tends to tease Okoze whenever they meet, which keeps them from resolving their issues. Guess I should just keep watching for now.
だいたい私何も変わってないしですし、飛沢先輩は今まで私をどこで判別していたと？
I was waiting for her to say the I wonder bit. God damn it, this localization.
せめて何か言わないものですか？ちょっと昔から一方的に美咲先輩に突っかからないでって言ってるでしょ。あと何その微妙な敬語は。これは目上の人には敬語を使わないと怒られるから。怒られるって誰に？それに私は真城と飛沢先輩のことは別に。何らしくもなくもごもごもじもじしてんのよ。
What's wrong with her? She's acting like something's stuck in her throat.
まあまあ言いづらいことみたいだから最初からゆっくり聞いてみたらいいじゃない。
飛沢先輩、絶対わざと言ってんだろ。私は昔からあんたのそういう人を食ったような態度が。
Yeah, she's saying about how you've always been like that from, you know, since the past and whatnot. But I'm guessing that the reason why she's being quiet there is now she understands Mashiro and Misaki's relationship. Because she did find herself a senpai that she looks up to. I'm guessing.
あら、また目上の人に敬語を忘れてるのね。ありか？
A nice pair of fair-skinned arms spring out from behind Okose and wrap themselves around her neck. When I look up, I see a girl who looks rather mature standing behind Okose. Though, maybe I only think that because of their height. I feel like I've seen her before. Ganeko, right? I hope I'm right. Oh, she must be the girl we saw with Okose back in May.
妹のあなたの失態は姉である私の失態。悲しいわ。スールになってからの私の教育はなかなか実を結んでくれないのね。姉、妹？これってどういうこと？っていうか、あの人は誰？
美咲先輩は会ったことありませんでしたっけ？アリカの先輩のガネコさんです。ほら、紫東水産 FC 部独特のあれがあるじゃないですか。
I don't think she actually knows the Mayu part just yet.
独特のあれ？
あー、聞いたことあるような。スールだったっけ？女の先輩と後輩で深い絆を作る制度。
Mayu Ganeko directs a graceful bow at Misaki.
はじめまして。はじめまして。
She seems a lot like Satoin-san, but with the politeness dialed up to 11. This is weird.
またお会いしましたね。
Yeah. Hi. Her long and slender arms appear loving as they wrap around Okose's neck, but I can't help but think it also kind of looks like a color. Maybe that's just because she's turned meek and docile like a tiny kitten.
アリカはいけない子ね。
This is very weird. What the fuck?
ごめんなさい、お姉様。お仕置きだけは、
Is she like supposed to be a sadist or some shit? She flashes a soft smile as she chuckles.
ダメ。
お姉様のド S。
Yeah, I guess she is. Okose struggles in an attempt to escape, but it's no use.
安心して。私の可愛いアリカ。大好きなあなたにそんなひどいことはしないから。
お姉様。
Okose's voice is suddenly all soft and sweet. Honestly, I wouldn't have thought that possible a mere moments ago. Why do I have heartburn right now? I actually don't know what the hell heartburn is. Or at least it's not a... It's, I don't know what the term is in Indonesian, you know? I know what heartburn is in English, but I actually have never felt it before? Maybe? Or maybe I have, but I don't know what it's actually called?
皆さんとは試合でお会いできればいいですね。
Right.
今回でなくても秋の大会もありますし、練習試合だって申し込んでいただいても構いませんから。
Oh, thanks. I'm sure we'll take you up on that offer eventually. I wonder, is everyone at Shito Suisan like them? Guess I'll just have to head there to find out. Okose lets out a sugary voice as she trembles in Ganeko-san's embrace.
もうありかったらどうやら出直した方がいいようですね。
Guess she finally realized that this is pretty damn awkward.
それではクナハマの皆さん、トーナメントのどこかで相まみえることを楽しみにしています。
Okose composes herself at that exact moment, as if Ganeko-san's words were some cue.
私とぶつかるまで負けるんじゃないぞマシロ。っていうかあんたさ、今まで私と美咲先輩のことを散々否定しておいて、じゃあそういうことで。あ、こら逃げるな。
What should I say? Okose and Ganeko-san just tore through us like a typhoon, confusing everyone. They're a pretty unique pair, aren't they?
美咲先輩、こうなったからには私たちも負けてられません。
負けでいいってというか勝負してない上に勝負にならない。
向こうはガチっぽかったもんね。私を偽物みたいに言うのはやめてください。
I mean, you kinda are, Mashiro. I don't actually think Mashiro is, into Misaki that much. Oh, sorry. Twitchy fingers.
ああいう世界もあるんですね。ドキドキします。
You might want to reword that sentence, Asuka.
ガネコマユか。
意味ありげにつぶやいてどうした？もしかしてああいう世界に憧れがあるのか？
そんなんじゃないよ。もうどっかで聞いたことがある名前だと思って。
Madoka fiddles with her phone for a bit after saying that.
やっぱり今の二人お姉様の方は結構強いよ。
強いってどういう意味で？夜の方がとか指先のテクニックがとかそういう意味？
Why would that be on Madoka's phone?
いやいや、まどかだって向こう側な人かもしれないし、こっそり私を狙ってるかもしれないし、油断大敵だよ。
You are way too random at times, Misaki. Don't start talking about your crackpot theories.
アスカだって私を狙ってるかもしれないし。
くだらないこと言ってないで私の話を聞くように。優勝候補はもちろん進藤さんだけど、金子さんは対抗馬だよ。
へえ、対抗馬か。
どの大会でもベスト4以下ってことはないみたいだよ。進藤さんが出ていない大会じゃ優勝したこともあるし。ああいう雰囲気で弱かったら虚しいですよね。今回のトーナメントじゃ離れてるから当たらないかもだけど、3年生じゃなくて2年生だからこれから先の大会で当たったりすることはあるかもね。つまり未来のライバル候補ということですね。
Oh, sorry, Asuka. Get on her level before you say that again.
頑張ります。
I notice a bunch of familiar faces behind Asuka as I watch her nod vigorously. Man, they're giving us this stink eye. The Takafuji Academy FC Club is here. Doesn't seem like they're here to get a look at the bracket. I think they're trying to find a good spot to start warming up. Oh, good morning. Shindo-san responds with a silent nod. Hmm? Oh, I see. Guys, let's head over to that large tent.
そうした方がいいな。
高藤学園の皆さんとお話ししないんですか？
No, some of us are facing them in the first round, remember? And I'm back, sorry about that. I actually got a message about my gym. Had to... What's the word I'm looking for? Had to... not postpone. Had to... not prolong. What's the word I'm looking for? Had to buy my membership again, there we go. But yeah, I'm back, sorry about that. No, some of us are facing them in the first round, remember? Talking to your opponent before a match is kinda awkward, don't you think?
そうかもしれません。
私は割とそういうの平気だけどね。
I also personally don't really care, Misaki. Maybe you don't, but they might. Come on, let's go. Ichinose seems to want to say something, but she holds her tongue. Makes sense, since this isn't exactly the best time to talk. Sure, you can spend plenty of time together after a match, but hanging out and chatting before one just makes things harder for the players involved. Does it? I personally don't think so. What the hell? Sugarcoat it all you want, but at the end of the day, winning is all that matters. FC isn't a combat sport, so people generally don't get injured, but emotional trauma is another story altogether. I see Ichinose open her mouth slightly as she walks by me.
私負けませんから。はーい。
Yeah, see, I actually appreciate Misaki's personality, or not personality, her attitude towards this a lot more. Misaki doesn't budge an inch as she gives that nonchalant reply. And then,
そういうことを言うものではありませんわ。
I hear Satoin-san scolding Ichinose. However, we all just walk away instead of reacting. Man, I was trying to avoid making things awkward too. Misaki groans unhappily. Don't worry about it.
気にしてはないけど。マサヤが思っているようなことじゃなくて。
Then what is it?
わかんない。うまく言葉にできないよ。
Misaki stares down at her own toes as she says that. I actually don't know what's going on with Misaki. There's no real routine to follow at the start of an FC tournament, so everyone's just scattered around the beach as the opening ceremony begins. The tournament chair begins with a short welcome speech, then proceeds to go over the rules and safety precautions. After he finishes, fireworks streak upward into the beautiful blue sky and explode with a soft bang. Lighting fireworks at the beginning of the day? That is so awkward. And with that... Yup. The tournament finally begins. This tournament is supposed to have a grand total of 64 matches. Still, I'm sure there will be far less in the end. People tend to drop out for a variety of reasons, which always cuts down the number significantly. Though, even if they took that into consideration, there would be too many matches for one day. And that's why we're only doing the first round today. The rest of them all take place in the second day. Yeah, after cutting on the second, or after cutting on like the first round, which is probably going to be the most matches, the second and third round shouldn't be that many left. Make sure to watch the schedules closely. You need to start warming up 2 matches early. Just trust me, okay? Otherwise, you might end up getting knocked out right away. I also try to warm up like about 15 to 20 minutes before I start my race on Zwift usually. The human body can't just go from 0 to 100 on command.
私の場合はせめて試合をしたって実感くらいつかみたいですけどね。
Look, Satoin-san may be good, but she's not unbeatable. I'm gonna do everything in my power to help you pull out a win, so you better do the same. Cool it with a dry laugh, Mashiro. You're already low odds are taking a nosedive. Didn't she promise Misaki a miracle earlier? What order are we going in? Let's see. I've got 30 minutes until Prez's match. Maybe I can use that time to scout his opponent. I have a strategy meeting with Prez before his match. Listen, I don't know anything about this Saki Inoue. Usually, it's easy enough to find out a person's playstyle by asking around, but my hunt ended in vain. Only thing I learned is that she transferred into Karyo Academy from overseas earlier this year. Yeah, that confirmed my suspicions about who that girl is. Glad to hear you're confident. Anyway, there's something I wanted you to hear before this match.
忌憚なく容赦なく快活に言うがいい。
Maybe you should save those lines for the match. Seems like his head's already in the game. Well, that's probably a good thing in this case. This stays between us, but I think you're the only one of our club members who has a shot at the title. Press slowly shifts his gaze upwards after he hears me say that. I'm serious here. Oh, sorry. Masaki probably has a 1% chance of beating Shindo-san. And that's a pretty generous estimate even. No, you have something she doesn't that could help you crush him. I never say this in front of her, and obviously I'll do everything I can to help her beat him. But that's what I truly believe. And she'd never admit it, but I bet even Misaki feels the same. So that's why I believe you have a legit chance of stealing a win. Fact of the matter is, you're probably a below average Skywalker overall, but luckily, you have a unique weapon that's hard to counter. And if you can use it right, no one will be able to stop you. He's a below average Skywalker overall, damn. His straight flight speed is unparalleled, which makes him hard to beat if he can just reach top speed. And that's something no opponent would ever expect. If he ignores every other aspect of the game, he can reach the second boy within 30 seconds. And from there, he can clear each line within 20 to 30 seconds. That speed of his is comparable to a professional speeder's. Only difference is, actual pros have more to their game than pure speed. In other words, he's basically a glass cannon. And that may have its drawbacks, but it also has its own set of strengths. Sure, he hasn't won anything yet, but I think that can mostly be chalked up to bad luck. A lot of people would probably disagree with me, since most like to say there's no luck involved in sports. But I'm sticking to my guns here. Things could get dicey if your opponent stops you from reaching top speed early. I think luck does play a role in everything, to be honest. Maybe not like something ridiculous like, 10% or 15%, but I'd say a decent 1 to 5% usually. Basically, yeah. But if you manage to not get shut down in the second line, it'll be hard for anyone to catch you. And that's his one shot of beating any opponent. That's why I think you're the only one of us who could beat Shindo-san. It's still a long shot though. Odd. I expected him to be a lot more excited after this little pep talk. I was sure my speech would help him. Is he gonna be okay? No. This is no time to start doubting myself. As his second, I need to cheer him up. So yeah, Prez, let's make you the champion. Let's do this! See, the thing is though, these matches are public, right? So people can probably just scout how each of these guys play, and after that, wouldn't it be easy to know and counter how each opponent plays if they were to fight them in the second round? Just make sure not to get stopped on the second line, and you'll pull out a win. He's at least learned some simple feints, so maybe, just maybe he can win. For better or worse, I've got to pull all my eggs in that basket. Prez activates his graph shoes and flies toward first. This is that senpai from Kairyo 2? A girl approaches me with a smile on her face. She's wearing a headset, which must mean she's Kairyo Academy's second. Huh. She doesn't look all that Japanese. Must be from overseas. Huh? Oh. Hi. She's kinda talking in a strange Japanese, but is she bluffing? Or is she like, acting? I could have sworn she was saying normal Japanese during that, like, ending scene before the Chapter 4 preview. She winks at me. Well, she seems nice enough. I'm Hinata. It's nice to meet you too. Irina-san gazes up at the girl who's flying toward first. That must be Saki Inoue.
あの子は日本で試合するのは初めてなんです。だからそこはその
A smile suddenly blooms on her face as she thinks over her words.
わかりました。お手柔らかに。どうです？正しいですよね。日本語うまくいってます？
Yeah, she's acting, man. Yeah, it's fine, I think. Honestly, it sounds a little broken, but I'm getting the gist of it. You just said this is Saki Inoue's first tournament match in Japan, right? Does that mean she's been in some overseas?
そうです。あんまり強くないので。だからお手柔らかにです。
Yeah, I hope you guys take it easy on us too.
はい。
Irina-san trots away from me after that exchange. And since she's gone, I look up to Saki Inoue.
よろしくだ。
Prez greets her in a friendly manner.
よろしく。
I barely make out her reply through the headset. She sounds emotionless? Maybe she's just not used to speaking in Japanese because of her years playing FC overseas. I should have asked Irina-san what country they came from. General FC skill is a lot higher in America, Northern Europe, and Southeast Asia, but that's not the case for much of the rest of the world. I take a closer look at her. Is there like a screen or something? Because we probably can't see her face, yeah, otherwise. That's why Messiah doesn't realize this is the girl he saw before. She's rather short and skinny. Maybe she's one of those fighters that constantly zip around the field to attack and defend. Man, that'd make her a bad matchup for Prez. Huh? Hold on. What kind of graph shoes are those? They don't look like Mizuki's, small grows, or invades. I've never seen anything like them before. Maybe they're from a small overseas manufacturer. Well, not like it really matters. Press can only play in one specific way, so her style and equipment won't even factor into our game plan. Better start things off on a good note. Let's rumble. The referee's voice reaches my ears through the headset, and then so does their whistle. It's time. Huh? Right as Press starts to dive diagonally downward for a low yo-yo, Inoue does the same. Prez! Inoue is also a speeder! Inoue quickly overtakes Prez, so he ends up in her dust. What kind of speeder is she? There are ones who focus on initial speed and ones who focus on top speed. The fact that she's already ahead of Prez probably means she's an early speed type, and in that case, he has the clear advantage. Speeder versus speeder matches depend entirely on top speed. Luckily, Prez invested all his attribute points into maxing out speed, so there's no way he'll lose. Now, I wonder who's going to time their climb better. That'll be what sets the pace of the match. Skywalkers need to climb out of low yo-yo in a gentle curve in order to maintain as much of their built-up speed as possible. Unfortunately, Prez is wearing graph shoes that essentially lock his posture, so that isn't his strong suit. Well, whatever. We'll let her have the first line. He just needs to pass her on the second one to take control of the match. Inoue changes her flight trajectory with a light motion that appears to be little more than her raising her chin. She's good. That was extremely smooth. Guess that confirms that she focuses on initial speed. Prez also enters a climb, though he's noticeably slower than Inoue. Plus, his motions are somewhat stiff. I swear, they're like night and day. Inoue uses the recoil from touching second to accelerate. Wow, That was just as smooth as her low yo-yo. The radius of the arc she flew was so narrow that it's hard to believe she's a speeder. Unlike most of them, she's using her smooth form and the boosts from buoy touches to gain speed instead of relying on straight flight. I can see Perez calling that a cheap trick. This is weird. She'd make a better fighter or all-rounder with that skill set. So why is she a speeder? Well, whatever. The score is 0-1 now. Isn't it a bit too, you know, too presumptuous to call her a speeder? We don't know the specs of her shoes, so, you know. What if this is some prototype shoes that's actually all three? Press touches the boy and accelerates shortly after Inui. Of course, he doesn't get any points from that since she got to it first. The reason he didn't jump to the next line in spite of that is because he valued the speed boost from the boy more. Makes sense. Right now, he needs to pick up speed. Closing the gap between them can come later. Okay, time to show them what you can do. He assumes a forward bent position and accelerates rapidly. His opponent is no fighter or all-rounder, which means there's no way for them to stop him. There's no chance of his weak point being exposed, so he has no need to hold back. Go, Prez! Huh? That's weird. Prez is picking up speed, and yeah, the gap between them is closing. It is, but it's not enough. Prez is as fast as always, which means Inui must be incredibly fast as well. I mean, the fact that he's catching up means he's still faster, but this is bad. I look toward her second, Irina-san. It may be taking longer than expected, but Prez is definitely gaining ground. However, she's not giving Inui any instructions. Instead, she's just looking up, all smiles. Does that mean she isn't even worried about him overtaking her? I cover the mic with my hand to keep Prez from hearing me take a deep breath. This is also like a very strategy-like sport because it's kind of like a mind game, right? You can take a look at your opponent's second and see what they are cooking in their head and try to counter them that way. Calm down. I've got no reason to panic and shout out instructions right now either. There's no doubt in my mind that Prez is catching up. In a match between two speeders who are as fast as them, the total score will probably go over 20. Losing 2 or 3 points this early is no big deal. Inui touches third and uses it to accelerate. It's 0-2 now. It's fine. If he keeps this up, Prez will win. Gah! I grit my teeth. Bro, he never got a chance to actually go past her. Inui touches third, bringing the score to 0-10. How did this happen? Prez kept nearly catching up to Inui during the second half of the line, but he never once managed to overtake her. There are 3 reasons for that. Number 1, Inui touches boys ahead of him. The boy may be made to move as little as possible, but they still shake a little right after getting touched. And it's hard to get a proper speed boost when it's shaking. Number 2, the 90 degrees curve you need to make whenever you switch to the next line. Since Prez is trying to overtake his opponent, he's constantly accelerating. Unfortunately, that also means he has to do a hard brake before the curve, which is extremely inefficient. And to make matters worse, he's also forced to fly a much larger arc than his opponent due to his playstyle. Ultimately, those 2 things combine to hit him with a massive drop in speed. Number 3, the position of pursuer. When it's fighter versus fighter, being behind your opponent is a huge advantage, since that makes it easier to score points. However, it's the other way around in a battle of speeders. If you touch your opponent anywhere, it'll throw both of you off balance, but they'll fly forward while you go backward. Due to that, you need to stay clear of your opponent's reach while you're trying to pass them. And since the one in front is flying straight down the line toward the boy, you're forced to take the long way around. Inui is masterfully using all three of those to neuter Prez, who's technically faster than her. Seems Inui is used to battling other speeders. If this keeps up, he won't even be able to mount a comeback. We have to turn the tide somehow, and fast. Prez!
Kanata!
He sounds excited. I have a suggestion.
不利を称して乾の足に後ろからタッチしろとかショートカットして流れを変えろとか無粋なことを言うつもりじゃないだろうな。
He said something else there, but I wasn't really paying too much attention to what he said the second line. Who cares if it's manly or not? Sure, you may overtake her at some point if you keep this up, but you lose any chance of winning. We need to do something before it's too late.
kanata! 俺は今最高に楽しいぜ
Huh?
スピードこそ最強だ俺は最速を目指すそして俺より速い奴がいるならば俺はそれを全力で追い抜くしかあるまい
I can understand Shion here. He actually wants to beat someone in a fair game. You know, if someone is actually better than him at something that he's good at, that's actually a good motivation to become better at what you're good at. This is an FC match, not a race.
分かってるしかし俺はこの方法しか練習しなかったんだ小細工はしないそれに流れを変えろというがこれ以上の俺の流れがあるか全力で飛んでるぜ
Shion is most likely not going to be number one at anything, but I feel like as long as you're having fun with what you're doing, that's also something that, you know, I feel like most athletes forget as time goes on. It's true that it's focused on nothing but speed his whole career, but you're...
わかるkanataの言いたいことぐらい分かっている俺だって勝ちたいだがしかしここで飛ばなきゃ俺じゃない
If I change up my playstyle, what's the point? He said, that's not me, not what's the point, damn it. I definitely remember holding that sentiment in the past. Sometimes it stopped being all about winning or losing. It didn't matter who I was playing or how the match was going. I just wanted to go all out and bring out my full potential. So long as I did that, nothing else mattered.
俺は飛ぶんだ
I know letting him do this would make me a bad second. I know I need to stop him. However, I also know there's no way I'll win that argument. Prez, slow down before touching the boys. You're going too fast. So making the turn to the next line always kills your speed.
分かった
Go speed right past Inui.
オーケー
Damn, the score reaches 0-22. But that's not important here. Prez has finally managed to catch up to Inui.
kanata俺は音速の壁を越えるからソニックブームに気をつけろ
I think the speed of light is like what? Above 1,000 kilometers per hour or something? Is that even possible for you, Shion? Will do! There's no way to reach the speed of sound with graph shoes, but who cares? He said he'd do it, so I just have to believe in him. And at last, Prez passes Inui. Now he's in front, so she's got no way of stopping him with smart positioning. And this is where she's gonna change her playstyle, right? It's time! Go beyond light speed!
Okay!
He reaches unimaginable speeds. Go, Prez! The crowd starts to make a commotion as they take in the miracle before them. But that quickly transforms into cheers. The venue's filled with thunderous applause. He doesn't slow down before fourth. He touches fourth, bringing the score to 122. Unable to turn, Press keeps jetting forward in a straight line, shooting outside the field. And at that exact moment, I hear the sound of the whistle yet again, which signals the end of the match. You actually pull it off! I'm surprised that they didn't get, squash on their first fight. Huh. Yeah. Right. Duh. Definitely. That's not true. No sweat. You did great, Prez. I hear the sound of his mic cutting out. And then, as I look toward him, I see inertia carrying him outside the tournament venue. I let the tension escape my shoulders and cast my eyes down. I really thought he had a chance of winning the tournament. Admittedly, it was only a small chance, but as his coach, I'm responsible for this failure. Huh? I hear someone approaching me from behind.
すごかったです。フィールドがあと50メートル長いか、時間が倍だったら負けてたと思います。
I don't know. Maybe not. That's true, but there's no point dealing in what ifs. What was that about going easy on her? She's way too good.
相性が良かっただけです。本当はそんなに強くないですね。スピーダー相手が得意なだけですから。
Really?
そうです。
She smiles as she gives me that short response. Question: What kind of graph shoes are those?
アバロンのアグラベインです。
Agra Veins from...
アグラベイン。
I'm guessing he actually said Avalon first. I've never heard of that manufacturer or model.
イギリスでは小さい有名です。
Small famous? Does she mean it's not very well known? Wait, but then why famous? Thanks for the info. Good luck with the rest of your matches. I'll be rooting for you.
ありがとうございます。応援してくれるだなんて優しいですね。
She says that with a brilliant smile on her face, then spins around and runs off to Inui. She doesn't look all that strong. I wonder what she'd do against fighters or all-rounders. Strange. That faintly smiling, yet mostly expressionless look on her face is stuck in my head. Oh, she's... How did I not notice earlier? She's that girl I met at the terminal near my place. I see. No wonder her form was so beautiful. She's an FC player, huh?
あれ？部長は一緒じゃなかったんですか？
He wanted to keep flying around.
残念でした。マサヤがもっとうまく指示を出せば勝てた試合じゃないの？
Maybe. Of course, Misaki noticed. Well, I guess any average Skywalker would. Still, Perez was fighting his own battle there, so it wasn't my place to stop him. Figured it was smart to let him do what he wanted.
部長はそういうタイプだからそうなんだろうけどさ。
I get the feeling that part of Perez frustrates Misaki.
でも兄ちゃんにしてはかっこよかったと思う。
お、急にブラコン発言？
いやいや、あの兄ちゃん相手にブラコンはありえないでしょう。
そんなことないと思いますけど。
その話はともかくとして、ドワーッとスピードを出してたし、最後にビューンって飛んでいったし、見てる人もすごくわーわーなってたし。
Everyone likes an underdog after all.
そうですよね。すごく盛り上がっていました。派手な試
飛べるんだってびっくりしましたよ。
ですよね。私今の試合を見て感動しました。ああいうのも FC なんですね。
I think if I was part of the guys that were just sitting there, I probably would have I don't know, I guess I probably would have left. Because there's no way he's gonna win from 0-22. They say that it makes the crowd, it's a crowd pleaser, but I think most people would actually be bored before that actually happened and left the stage, or you know, left where they're watching. Asuka curls up in excitement as she says that with a smile on her face. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that usually in sports, you kind of want to see people that are head-to-head instead of one opponent clearly just beating the shit out of the other.
すごい試合になってるとか？でも試合はまだスタートしてないみたいですけど。あ、スタートラインを見て。さっきの覆面選手です。この試合の選手ってことは。
Okay, looking at the sprite again, that can't be Shirase-san's sister, because that seems to be a guy. He got no boobs. I mean, I'm not one to judge a guy or a girl with their boob size, but yeah, I don't think his sister had like no boobs at all. Madoka runs her eyes over a copy of the tournament bracket. Kamidorisha? I thought they didn't have an FC club.
でもはっきりと上通り社学園って書いてあるよ。それで選手名はどうしたの？
難しい漢字で読めないとかですか？
キラキラネームってやつ？じゃなくて謎の覆面って書いてあるんだけど。
Why would they even make this like possible? Come on.
謎の覆面？すごすぎるよね。
Is this tournament really not as serious as I thought it would be? You think they put the mysterious part themselves?
自己申告で謎だったら謎という意味の深淵に迫りそうな気がするけど。
自称謎っていうのは謎なのかという問題ですね。
そんなことよりそれってありなの？
I feel like themselves should always be in plural form. Can it actually be used just like that? I'm not too sure. I'd say no, but apparently it's within the rules, since they're set to compete and all. Again, FC is a solo sport, so of course there are enemies. Does she just really like saying that line? The ref positions themselves. Right? This can't be right. Themselves. What the fuck? I don't think that can be non-plural. And then the whistle is blown. Right. They better have something special up their sleeve with a name like Mysterious Masked Skywalker. Based on the What? Based on the He-Bus from Mizuki? What? Is that the name of the manufacturer in shoes? Okay. I was like, what the hell is a He-Bus? Based on the He-Bus from Mizuki, I guess they're an all-rounder? Usually, only all-rounders use that model, but you do see some fighters put them on from time to time. Everyone seems to be on the same page. Cheers fill the beach as the match begins. Let's wait and see. Show me your moves, Masked Skywalker. The whistle blows, signaling the end of the match. Asuka and I then look at each other instantly. Yup, they were a perfectly average all-rounder.
すごく基本に忠実だったよね。
Hey, it's not the grand finals yet. Maybe he's the type that would adapt according to the opponent.
そして負けましたね。
Oh, okay, he lost. Masked Skywalker lost their match. The final score was 4-5.
とっても惜しい感じではあったよね。
It feels like no one knows how to react to that outcome. There was nothing special about Masked Skywalker. They weren't particularly weak or strong in any aspect. Basically, average is the perfect word for them. Well, let's just forget this ever happened and move on. This is real awkward.
そろそろマシュロッチをアップしておいた方がいい時間だよ。
Don't look all depressed. You haven't lost yet.
だからそういうことはもっと力強く言ってください。
I hope they don't skip this girl's like match, just like the Masked Skywalker. They didn't even skip Prez's match, so I hope not.
外線から運が悪すぎます。
You really need to get over that. She's just been whining about that non-stop this whole time.
だって佐藤院さんが相手だなんて正直に言って勝てる気が全くしません。率直に言って不可能としか思えません。いた。
I give Mashiro a light slap on the head.
痛い。運が悪かった上に理不尽な暴力まで振るわれた。
Relax. I'm just trying to get you to calm down.
落ち着いてますよ。落ち着いて考えてみたらやっぱり不可能だって言ってるんです。いた。なんですかポンポンポンポンポンポンポンポン。
I didn't slap you like that. Stop exaggerating. Look, going into a match expecting to lose is rude to your opponent. You should at least try to win, even if she's obviously better than you. I do agree with that.
そう言われても。
She may not look it, but Satoin-san is a very nice, diligent person.
はい。何ですか急に。
You agree, yeah?
思いますけど、高飛車そうな外見に反して真面目でいい人ですけど。それは
Her playstyle is the same.
そうかもしれませんけど、一体何を言おうとしているんですか？
Just let me finish. Listen, Satoin-san is an all-rounder, and all-rounders focus on exploiting their opponent's weakness.
それは分かってますけど。
When they face a fighter, they subdue them with speed, and when they're up against a speeder, they take them on in a dogfight. In other words, most all-rounders play around their opponent's game plan.
なんか犯罪の匂いがしてきましたね。
Oh, come on! How? Anyway, in my mind, there are two kinds of ultra-serious people.
と言いますと、
One directs that sentiment toward himself. Is this actually right? I feel like this is actually not right, and it keeps bugging me when it's there. Themselves, while the other directs it toward others. The former is usually very belief-driven, while the later is usually concerned about how something might impact others. Which do you think Satoin-san is? Probably the latter? Or maybe the first, I don't know. Nah, she's probably the former.
佐藤院さんは後者ですね。気遣い上手ですから。
Right. So basically, Satoin-san adapts both her personality and playstyle to her opponent, which we can use to our advantage.
なんだか顔が黒いですよ。
Whatever it takes to win.
それで具体的にどうしたらいいんですか？
Jump past the first line right away.
私はスピーダーなんですけど。
I know, but if you fight her using normal speed or tactics, she'll take you down right away. You realize how much better she is, right?
それは分かってますけど。
That's why you're going to play like a fighter.
スピーダーなのにファイターみたいに？
Yup. There are some players who do that, okay? Just trust me. There aren't many, but some people do focus on dogfights despite wearing speeder shoes. And those players utilize the speed from the shoes to focus on hit and run tactics.
でも私はそういう練習をしてませんよ。
You used to be a fighter.
確かにしてましたけど。
You need to pull out all the stops if you want to stand a chance against her.
それはそうだろうと思いますけど。
After you jump ahead, position yourself above Satoin-san to start putting pressure on her.
前じゃなくて上ですか？
She'll have a hard time seeing you when you're above her. It's difficult to keep up inverted flight, which pretty much rules that option out for her. Mashiro glances to the side. When I follow her gaze, I see Satoin-san talking to Shindo-san.
進藤さんがセコンドなら見えなくてもプレッシャーにならないのでは？
Good point. Shindo-san's definitely going to accurately relay Mashiro's position to her, which hurts this plan. It'll still work. People get uneasy when they can't see things they know are right in front of them, right?
そうかもしれませんが、それでプレッシャーをかけ続けたらどうなりますか？
She'll start acting cautious, which should slow her down. Plus, like I said, Satoin-san is a considerate person. If the decision to engage or not is on her shoulders,
佐藤院さんがドッグファイトを挑んでくる？
exactly. And now we get to the most important part. Once she rushes you, make a run for it and force her into a battle of speed.
つまり佐藤院さんの裏をかくと。
Bingo. Mashiro stands no chance in a straightforward match. But luckily, Satoin-san watched Mashiro during the training camp, which means she's under the impression that she's a fighter, and that may have just saved us.
できますかね？
If you stay high enough, you can use gravity to accelerate quickly and beat her. Satoin-san, on the other hand, will probably be pretty mad that she got tricked and lose her composure.
佐藤院さんが最初から V を狙ったら？
Then it'll become a pure speed battle, which puts you at an advantage despite your gap in skill.
いいことだらけに聞こえますね。
Honestly, I doubt it's gonna go that well. Mashiro doesn't have much experience as a speeder yet, so she probably can't win even if she has an advantage.
私を騙してます？
What would I get out of tricking you? I make sure to sound confident to keep her spirits high.
気づいたら羽毛布団を買ったりしてませんかね？
I'd have to be a professional con man to somehow sell you something through all of this.
わかりました。言う通りにやってみます。
Good. You gotta believe that you can win. And if you do pull it off, Misaki will be real happy.
そうですね。頑張ります。
I feel like that doesn't really make her all that happy, to be honest. Because it is just a persona. I feel like she doesn't like Misaki that much. She likes her, but not that much. Mashiro clenches her fists in front of her chest, nods, and flies off toward first. Now, I just have to hope Satoin-san falls for our trap.
よろしくお願いしますわね。こちらこそ私頑張りますから。私だって頑張りますわ。いい試合をしましょう。はい。
Mashiro's voice sounds a bit shaky. Makes sense, since this is her first tournament and all. Guess she started feeling nervous as soon as she got to her starting position. Don't forget, you need to jump to the second line right away.
分かってます。大丈夫です。
試合を開始していいですか？
はい。よろしくてよ。
セット。
He blows the whistle, signaling the start of their match. Satoin-san starts by staring at Mashiro. She wants to see whether Mashiro is going to jump to the next line or go for the boy. This is the perfect chance to fake going for the boy, but Mashiro's not ready to convincingly pull that off yet. Having confirmed that Mashiro is jumping to the second line, Satoin-san flies down the first line, aiming for second. Right. Now get in position not too far from the boy. Oh, but make sure you aren't too close either.
わかりました。
We need to get the ball rolling as soon as possible, but getting closer to the boy means getting closer to Satoin-san. And if she does that, there's always the risk of Satoin-san touching the boy and flying straight past Mashiro.
高さはこのくらいでいいですか？
Mashiro is around 5 meters above the line. Yeah, that's fine. Remember, if Satoin-san tries to go straight down the line, it'll be a race to third.
はい。
If that happens, try to stay as high as possible.
どうしてですか？
You're trying to force her into a position that gives you the advantage, so it'd be bad if she caught you before that you pull that off. Plus, it'll probably piss her off.
なんだかハンティングしてるみたいですね。
In a way, you kind of are. Satoin-san touches second. The score is 0-1 now. Satoin-san slows down and looks up at Mashiro.
まさや先輩、佐藤院さんにものすごく見つめられてますけど。
Is Mashiro's position a dead giveaway? But that's the only way I can see her winning this. After waiting for a while, she approaches Mashiro instead of going for third.
なるほどなるほど。そういうことですね。まさや先輩、作戦が完全にバレているみたいなんですけど。
That's not much of an issue. The important question here is how she's going to react.
あ、私の方が前にいるんだから、今から V を狙いに行くというのはどうでしょうか。
No, that's against the rules.
そうでした。
A player who jumps lines can't go for the next boy until they either make physical contact with their opponent or cross their path.
狙いは悪くないと思いますが、 V を失う危険を冒してでも私の上のポジションをキープして私をイライラさせる作戦ですわね。いえ、そういうことですよね。いや、決してそういうわけでは。付き合ってあげてもよろしくてよ。
Contrary to my expectations, Satoin-san is the one pressuring Mashiro. She gradually climbs, making her way toward Mashiro. At this rate, she'll reach her altitude and our plan will go out the window. Damn it! If Satoin-san keeps this up, Mashiro will break down before she even gets to make a move. Before it comes to that, Mashiro, do it now! Engage Satoin-san in a dogfight while she is still below you.
わかりました。やります。
Huh? A cocky smirk rises to Satoin-san's face.
こうも簡単に挑発に乗ってもらっては困りますの。乗ったのは日向雅也かしら。
Yes. Satoin-san tilts forward energetically, then proceeds to swoop down. This is the same thing that happened on our previous practice, man. Messiah, you suck! Mashiro and Satoin-san pass right by each other.
お先に失礼しますわ。
Mashiro is now flying towards second, while Satoin-san is heading toward third. God damn it! I never expected her to do that.
これは一体何ですか？
Satoin-san played us. There's no point chasing after her now. Jump to the third line. Mashiro listens to me and starts flying toward the third line.
質問です。
Yeah?
佐藤院さんはドッグファイトをする気はなくて、私が佐藤院さんに挑みかかる方向をサード V の逆方向に固定してから挑発してきたということですか？
Yes? That's right. Sorry. Seems like she outsmarted me.
ああ、なるほど。はい、わかりました。
Huh? What are you talking about?
早く飛んだり、バチバチ背中を狙い合うだけじゃなくて、こういう空気の読み合いと言えばいいんでしょうか。そういうのも FC なんですね。
Weren't you paying attention on the last match when I was being second to Asuka? Exactly. I guess she wasn't really into FC all that much in Chapter 3.
なるほどなるほど。ということはですよ、次は私が佐藤院さんを騙せばいいわけですよね。
You have a plan?
あるような、ないような。
You sound pretty uncertain. Anyway, just take the same position again. She may have beaten us just now, but the strategy was still sound.
わかりました。
Satoin-san calmly, slowly touches third and approaches Mashiro. And that's 0-2. Mashiro is waiting above the center of the third line. Like last time, Satoin-san proceeds to slowly inch closer to Mashiro. Is she doing that to preserve her stamina? Or wait, is she trying to run down the clock maybe? We only have the first round today, so there's no need to preserve stamina. But then again, there's nothing wrong with using this chance to help form the habit. Stalling may seem dirty, but Mashiro's strategy involves waiting, so we have no right to complain.
また同じ作戦ですの？どうでしょうか？
Retreat diagonally upwards at the same space she's using to close in on you.
はい。
We don't want her to close the gap. If Mashiro keeps retreating, Satoin-san might just give up and go for the boy eventually. And if she does, we can turn this into a battle of speed. This is all a little risky, but at the end of the day, Satoin-san is taking the bait. Things are looking up. Huh? This is weird. Mashiro's turning to the side as if she's getting pulled by something. Yeah, Mashiro's probably going to be good at faking. And that makes Satoin-san look in that direction as well.
あれ？あの赤いの隕石じゃありませんか？
Mashiro uses that chance to tilt downward, closing the distance between her and Satoin-san in an instant. This is kind of reminding me of Yomushi Pedal, where there's this guy. I mean, he didn't do the stupid, like, there's a red meteorite thing. There's this guy called Suji, right? The way he plays is very dirty. He actually uses all sorts of, like, psychological info. So basically, he researches all the info about his opponents and stuff, right? And he, at the end, when they were, like, racing toward the finish, he said this to his rival. It's like your mom went to the hospital or some shit, and then that couple of seconds made the rival stop, right? But he already went past him and got first. So yeah, he's a very dirty cheater. But I guess whatever it takes to win, man. I actually really like Suji. One of my favorite characters in that anime. This is, of course, a more light-hearted, like, tactic, but kind of similar in a way. Mashiro extends her arm and touches Satoin-san's back as she flies by her. Satoin-san loses her balance completely as she essentially rolls forward. The score is now 1-2. Wow, that was real dirty. It's not against the rules or anything, but I'd say that was a breach of player etiquette at least. Not gonna work. You made contact, so it's fine for you to go for the boy. Use your boost from that to speed over to it. Mashiro proceeds to rush toward the boy. Satoin-san totally lost her composure, so it should take her some time to recover. Mashiro has successfully touched fourth. That's 2-2. Amazing! I can't believe she actually managed to even the score. I don't think that's gonna work, sadly. If that was like the finale or like the last minute clock, maybe, but we probably still have a lot of time on our hands. So in terms of just pure skill, you're probably gonna get squashed, Mashiro. Maybe you do! Huh? I look over and finally notice that Satoin-san is floating in the first line. Ugh! I never planned for this scenario. She sure does. And honestly, she has every right to be. Her hair is standing on end, and she looks like a bloodthirsty demon.
自業自得とか言わないで作戦を考えてください。
Don't worry, an angry opponent will have a hard time making rational decisions. Just watch her closely and figure out how to slip past her.
わかりました。私、マナー違反をする人、好きではありません。私も同感です。そう思うなら今すぐ棄権しなさい。いや、それはちょっと。それが嫌なら卑怯な真似を恥じて切腹すればいいのですわ。いや、私お侍さんじゃないんで。別にお侍さんじゃなくても切腹していいのですわ。いや、します。切腹します。
Don't just give in!
そんなこと言われてもすごいですから。
Whatever! Just hurry up and force her into a race!
そんなこと言われても私から言って差し上げますわ。
Satoin-san rushes straight toward Mashiro. Yeah, that's not gonna end well. In a way, dogfights are also a battle of spirit, so there's no way she can put up a fight when she's that rattled. I'm pretty sure my words won't reach her anymore, but I still have to try and help her. Calm down, Mashiro. Take a deep breath. If you lose your cool now, you're just handing the reins over to Satoin-san. She was the one that started that fight. In the end, Satoin-san got 5 points in quick succession, ending the match with a 2-7 score. Mashiro got destroyed. You definitely shouldn't have done that, but the idea itself wasn't bad. Misleading your opponent with your gaze is the foundation of feints. Well, not really, to be honest. It's still within the rules, so while she said that it was a breach of etiquette, who cares? Like I said, you shouldn't have done that. There's nothing wrong with looking to the side, but bringing up a meteorite to go made you look isn't cool. She was probably worried about getting seriously injured there. I feel like that's also part of the, you know, that's also a way for you to abuse their personality, to be honest. So, in my mind, that's still fair game. It's the fact that they're dumb that they fell for it, right? Man, am I sounding like a guy who's gonna say if people get scammed, it's gonna be the people who get scammed that's actually at fault? I don't want to come across that way, okay? But I do feel like if people do get scammed by something, it's partially their own fault too. So, you know, I'm not totally saying it's completely their fault, but they are partly to blame, is what I'm trying to say. Mashiro bends backward at a surprisingly high speed, then bows her head at the same pace. I think anyone could have done that. Satoin-san does a graceful twirl and takes her leave. But I guess they have to have, you know, everyone needs to have an edge somehow. And I guess Mashiro's edge is that she's able to fool people quite easily. Hear that? You have promise. You should actually reflect on your actions here, Mashiro. Great. We're sitting at 2 losses in the first round already. I really want to put a stop to this string of losses, but... Misaki doesn't seem the least bit motivated. Let's crush your opponent. No mistakes allowed, since that'll help prepare you for your match with Shindo-san tomorrow. Plus, you could probably use the extra bit of confidence too.
Hi.
What's with that lazy reply?
はっきり言って試合をしたくないです。
She probably doesn't want to be in a situation where she loses against Shindo again. Huh? Look, I know your mood fluctuates like the value of a stock, but can you please not give me that on the very first match?
気分屋って気分を売り物にしたことなんかない。マサヤは私の気分をいくらで買ってくれるわけ？
100 yen for you to get motivated.
安いなあ。でも気分が変わるたびに100円もらえば時給2000円くらいいくかな。
You plan on changing your mood 20 times an hour? Anyway, forget that. Why don't you want to compete now?
対戦相手。
What about Ichinose? Alright. We actually faced her in the first round. Misaki directs her gaze over to a spot a few meters away from us. Satoin-san and Ichinose are talking over there. You don't want to face someone you know? I guess that's fair. A lot of people don't like facing their friends, since it might make things awkward after the fact. Sure, sometimes friendships and friendly rivalries form due to a match, but just as often, or no, more often, things get awkward instead. Is this really what she's thinking though? The reason is simple. It's frustrating to lose. And because most people don't want to admit defeat, they end up blaming their opponent. You're in a competitive sport. Suck it up! Holy shit! Not what I call good advice, Messiah. FC doesn't have a large player base yet, so you tend to face the same people over and over. That means she has to get used to this sooner rather than later.
それもちょっとあるけど、なんか言いづらいな。言いづらいっていうのは言いたくないってことじゃなくて、言葉にしづらい。マサヤは一ノ瀬ちゃんのことどう思う？体が好みとかそういうことじゃなくてだよ。
Okay. I know that you're not talking about her body. Obviously. I'd have to have a few screws loose to interpret her question like that.
脱いだら意外と大きいんじゃないかとか、そういう妄想の話じゃないよ。
Oh, come on! I'm no idiot. Have a little faith here. I've never even mentioned having a dream like that. I'd say she has a steady, or rather, meticulous playstyle. It's rather obvious that she has a pretty by-the-book playstyle.
だよね。
What about it?
ちゃんとっていうのが見えすぎるから、進藤さんや佐藤院さんとは合宿の時に話したけど、別に試合をするのは嫌じゃないんだよね。
Oh, she's actually thinking about Rika? I actually thought she was looking past Rika, not gonna lie. What, you're saying Ichinose is different somehow?
進藤さんは私より強くて、怖い。
Scary, huh?
進藤さんほどじゃないけど、佐藤院さんも怖い。性格がって意味じゃないし、体がってことじゃないよ。
Why do you keep assuming that's what I think? Look, I know exactly what you mean by scary. I used to be a player myself, so I'm painfully aware of what it's like to fear an opponent. It's only natural to get nervous before facing someone good. Same goes for when you face an opponent that's hard to read. And sometimes, even ordinary players with conventional playstyles can make you sweat because of their mastery of their skills. Feeling scared of your opponent is a perfectly natural emotion.
その怖さがあるから、私も全 のは楽しいし。
So, she's looking down on Rika, yeah. In other words, you don't want to face Ichinose because she doesn't scare you.
そう言うと私がすごく傲慢な人みたいだけど、そういうこと。練習がすごく丁寧だから試合で何をしてくるのか全部見えちゃう気がする。
I mean, that's possible, but can't really say that until you actually do the fight. Or, you know, do the match. I get where she's coming from, but... You know, underestimating your opponent's a surefire way to lose. A wry smile forms on Misaki's face as she looks down at her toes.
そういう意味じゃないんだってば。それに一ノ瀬ちゃんは真面目だから負けたくないって気持ちを込めてくると思うんだよね。
Right. She even said as much this morning.
うん。そういうとこがなんていうか、って感じ。
Why? Not wanting to lose is nothing special. I mean, come on. What player in their right mind would actually want to lose a match?
それは分かってるんだけど、一ノ瀬ちゃんはまっすぐに込めてくると思うから、それにたじろぐというか。
So she doesn't actually want to crush Ichinose? That is coming from a very arrogant place though, for sure, Misaki. How does it throw you off exactly?
それを前面に出すくらいならプレーに集中すればいいのにと思っちゃって戸惑っちゃうんだよね。
Oh, now it all makes sense. I think I finally get what you're trying to say. Ichinose is sure that victory awaits her as long as she does everything by the book. And it seems that way of thinking pisses Misaki off. If you want to win, then do everything in your power to win. That's Misaki's point. Simply believing isn't good enough, and yet Ichinose keeps mentioning it. Don't get me wrong, having faith in yourself is important. If you're not confident in your own skills, the accuracy of your moves will suffer. If you don't trust yourself to perform the moves you've practiced, you'll miss the right timing to use them. And if you don't believe you can win from the bottom of your heart, you never will. However, Ichinose's state of mind is a little different. It seems almost like she's believing in the fact that she believes in herself, if that makes any sense. She's believing in the fact that she believes in herself? Okay, so she doesn't believe in herself? And that's effectively the same as not truly believing in anything. Forget Ichinose's issues. You just need to focus on winning.
まあそうだよね。
Misaki forms a forced smile after saying that.
で、コーチ、どうやりましょうか？
Crush her! You want to know how to make her, you know, how to make her think what you want to make her think? Crush her! Crush her so much that she, you know, is not able to believe in what she believes in. That's how I do it. She asks me that in a teasing tone. Typo? You practice with Prez, so you should be used to fighting speeders. Plus, Ichinose is a lot slower than Prez, so her speed should pose no problem. Still, she's gonna use a lot more feints than Prez, which will make you doubt what to do when she closes in. When that happens, don't make the first move.
一ノ瀬ちゃんが動いてから？
Yup. Basically, whenever she tries to force you to make a decision, throw that right back at her.
なるほどね。一ノ瀬ちゃんのフェイントは正直だからってこと？
Bingo. You can pull that off, right?
なんか気が重いな。
Enough! Get serious already!
わかりました。じゃ、行ってきます。
Misaki flies off toward first in her usual tottering manner.
よろしくお願いします。
こちらこそよろしくお願いします。
何かな？
I'm telling you, crush her! I can hear their conversation through the headset.
進藤先輩は飛沢さんに期待してるみたいですけど、私負けませんから。
あ、はい。
負けませんから。
私もと言った方がいいのかな。
知りません。
Please, God, don't let Misaki's motivation die completely. That aside, this isn't really my business, but isn't Ichinose a little too high-strung? It's hard to maintain good form when you're all tense and stiff. I looked to the side. Her second, Satoin-san, is speaking to her with a slightly stern look on her face. Knowing her, she's probably telling Ichinose that she just said something inappropriate.
試合を開始します。セット。
The whistle resounds. Time to begin. Misaki's a fighter, while Ichinose is a speeder. Naturally, Misaki jumps to the second line right away. Ichinose in turn flies towards second. And by the time Misaki reaches the center of the second line, Ichinose touches second, bringing the score to 0-1. Everything is going just as we planned for now. Ichinose fixates her gaze on Misaki after pushing off second. She says that, then closes in on Misaki with a horizontal scissors. This is just like what she did to Asuka during our training camp. Misaki is rocking her body up and down, left and right, as she stands ready to intercept her. She looks kinda like Muhammad Ali out there. I didn't expect him to name drop Muhammad Ali. Ichinose is probably gonna shoot directly up or down right before she reaches Misaki. You make your opponent's eyes get used to horizontal movement, then suddenly shift to vertical movement instead. It's a standard feint. It tends to be rather effective too, but she's making this way too obvious. Still, it's not like we know which way she's going, so we need to keep an eye out. I should give Misaki some advice, but maybe I'll hold off on that for now. Better to just wait and see how she reacts. Once Ichinose gets close enough, Misaki throws up her arms like when you do a butterfly stroke in the water. It's a motion that helps a person shift into a rapid climb. Ichinose responds to that by diving diagonally downward. Misaki does a 180-degree vertical roll and shoots straight down onto Ichinose. She didn't say "and," by the way, she just said "ta." God damn this localization sometimes. Ichinose probably thought she lost Misaki already. Repelled by the touch, she goes flying off into the distance with no semblance of her balance remaining. I'm sure Satoin-san relayed Misaki's position to her, but she probably couldn't react fast enough. The score is now 1-1. Misaki touches Ichinose's back yet again while she's flailing through the air. That's another point for Misaki. It's 2-1. Ichinose eventually regains her balance and dives down to put some distance between her and Misaki, but I can hear Satoin-san scream from all the way over here. She's descended even further after getting pushed down twice already. A rookie mistake. Ichinose right by the water now. She's a speeder who's back to square one. She can't escape downward. Her initial speed is slow, and there's no way for her to gain speed while going up. And worst of all, there's a fighter right above her who can dive down to gain speed. She should have tried going to the side or up instead, even if that meant letting Misaki score a few more points. Honestly, there's technically nothing wrong with any of her individual decisions. When your opponent seems to move up, you fly down. When you get hit, you dive down to shake them off. However, the combination of those decisions has driven her into a corner. She's clearly very skilled, but it doesn't seem like she's used to using all the things she's learned at once, which is dragging her down. Satoin-san is raising her voice, which is rather unusual. Ichinose proceeds to follow her orders. It's too late for that. You should have done it earlier. Get serious already.
ちゃったんだって。
Stop being a goody two-shoes, Misaki. God. You had the perfect chance to score more points. But if she had actually done that, there's a chance she would have traumatized Ichinose. Though, maybe she'd prefer that over being pitied. Anyway, Ichinose flew back to the last boy, so touched third and moved down the line.
了解。
I'm telling you, man, you actually have to destroy her to make her become a better Skywalker. Misaki touches third. That makes it 3-1.
どうする？このままフォース V を狙う？
It's safe to assume she'll catch up to you at some point. But yeah, you might as well.
了解。
The fighter is leaving the speeder in her dust. Weird. Maybe Ichinose is given up. Is she already traumatized? No, you fool! She's not that easy, come on! Right as Misaki gets a few meters out from the boy, Ichinose rushes down the line at an unimaginable speed. I get why Misaki is so confused. There's no hint of her using any feint whatsoever. She's just advancing in a straight line like Prez. Misaki rocks her body in different directions, but she doesn't react to it at all. Brace yourself for impact. Ichinose is trying to force her way through. Stop her! Ichinose collides with Misaki. They're both repelled immediately. Misaki swiftly recovers from her loss of balance, but she's now on the other side of the boy. And in front of the boy is Ichinose, though she still hasn't recovered quite yet. Oh, that's what she was after. In a head-on collision, both players are repelled in opposite directions. So while it looked like Ichinose had been thrown backward, she's actually advanced a fair bit. Repulsion is relative, so when you're advancing with forward force that's stronger than the repellent force, you will in fact move forward even though it looks like you've been pushed back. She's lost almost all her speed, but she actually managed to get in front of the boy. Plus, she pushed Misaki back at the exact same time. Ichinose uses the speed boost from the boy to stabilize her form and rocket down the next line. The score is 3-2 now. Man, she should have just destroyed her from the start, well, like I said. Misaki tilts forward and flies toward the boy, then uses the repellent force from touching it to accelerate. She wants to touch Ichinose before she picks up more speed. Ichinose spins her body sideways in order to escape Misaki's extended hands. It's a basic technique that's known as an aileron roll. God, that's so hard to say. Aileron roll? She stretches out her arms and pulls them back in again, shifting her speed all the while, which helps her elegantly evade Misaki. Killer speed! God, the localization. Touching her back would just push her forward, which would actually hurt Misaki's chances. Her only choice is to somehow touch her from the side. Ichinose swiftly soars up into a high yo-yo, and Misaki, who sped up quite a bit at that point, ends up in front of her as a result. Ichinose dives down and goes through Misaki's open back. Misaki dodges with a rapid climb. Now, Ichinose is in the front again, which means she's forced to enter a swift climb to pursue Misaki's back. They start spinning around like roller coasters as they go for each other's back. Ichinose is wearing Maine Coons from Small Grove, which are speeder graph shoes, so this is pretty damn impressive. She must have put a lot of time and effort into dogfight practice if she's doing this well in those shoes. Unfortunately, Misaki touches Ichinose's back, sending her flying. And that's 4-2. Yeah, Misaki's the wrong opponent to try and beat in a dogfight. Ichinose rolls over and guards herself by throwing out both her arms. Wow, that's not how speeders usually defend themselves at all. Guess one of them realized that playing standard would just doom them at this point. Not sure if that was Satoin-san or Ichinose herself, but either way, it's a decision that required a lot of courage. Still, she may have stopped Misaki from scoring, but how does she plan on getting away when she's wearing graph shoes with slow initial speed? Oh, I know. I guess there is one way for her to escape. She just needs to let Misaki touch her, then use the repellent force to make up for her slow initial speed. Forfeit the battle to win the boar, basically. Misaki, do you want to win? Then start circling Ichinose. Misaki starts to circle Ichinose. If Ichinose tries to do something, go for her back. If she doesn't, do nothing. Nothing means nothing. Why are you acting all confused? Ichinose is trying to escape with the speed boost she'd get from you touching her. The perfect counter to that is just to not touch her. All you need to do is circle around her until time runs out. If you really want to win, do whatever it takes. If you hold back now, neither of you will be able to accept the results after the match. This is the only way to reach a satisfying conclusion. No one will be happy if you do something stupid now. Ichinose looks frustrated. She knows that if she makes a move, Misaki will immediately go for her back. If she wants to win, she has no choice but to wait for Misaki to change her mind. We're at a stalemate because both of them want to win more than anything in the world. I notice that Satoin-san's looking straight at me. I give her a nod. And then, Satoin-san nods back with a wry smile on her face. This match is over. There's no way to change things at this point. And Ichinose probably knows that she has no one to blame for her loss but herself. I heard the sound of the whistle a few minutes later. Misaki wins with a 4-2 score. Good job. Anything you'd like to say? I'm probably gonna end it after we finish off the post-battle like scene here. Damn, I'm actually liking the current recording session because it's actually very, you know, engaging for me. I am into FC, believe it or not. I'm just not really into a lot of the humor that this game shoves at you sometimes, though. Right. Though you did hold back during the first half, didn't you? Wow, she sounds super arrogant. Yeah, the only reason why Misaki can do that is when you are definitely confident that you can squash your opponent. But I guess, you know, she has that confidence, or she has that personality of not wanting to squash people that are not within her expectations or within a certain level, right? I could understand that, but at the same time, no. I am the type that would squash people whether or not they're actually good or not. It's something that I personally would want people to do to me too. Whether I'm good at something, whether I'm bad at something, if people don't do their all against me at something, I would feel insulted. That's just my type of personality, I guess. But honestly, I'd expect no less from Misaki.
ありがとうございました。
Ichinose comes over and bows her head to Misaki.
いえ、こちらこそ。ちゃんとプレイしてもらえて安心しました。
Oh, so she noticed.
でも次は負けませんから。
私も負けるつもりはないよ。
Misaki smiles as she says that. Actually, they're both smiling. Nice. Alright. Oh, they skip Asuka? Wow, Asuka must have faced like a jobber. But yeah, I think this is actually a good part or a good time for us to stop the episode. Damn, that was a pretty action-packed episode. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I think I said about the, about the current recording. I already said what I want to say about the current recording. I really like it when they actually focus on the FC part. I just really don't like it when they, do the whole, like, slapstick comedy thing, especially very teenager slapstick comedy. That's not really my type of thing anymore. I'm too old, man. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Give this video a like if you guys like it. Sub if you guys haven't. Patreon will be getting these episodes early access along with everything uncensored. And yeah, free Patreon members will be getting first episodes of all future playthroughs faster than, YouTube subscribers. So do feel free to look at the free members on Patreon. See ya!